SEC football. Your first look. Max, Trevor, breaking down the season, the big matchups. Your WAAY 31 SEC preview show starts now. Sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
They say it just means more. It's the conference with the most championships since the turn of the century and starts this season with 10 teams ranked in the top 25, including the #1 team in the nation. It's Roll Tide and War Eagle. It's Hook 'em and Boomer Sooner. It's the SEC. Hello and welcome to the SEC Preview Show. I'm Max Cohan and he's Trevor Denton. And when you think of SEC dominance since 2000, teams like Georgia, Florida, and LSU may come to mind, but you can't tell the story of college football without the Nick Saban era at Alabama with 6 national titles since 2009.
But as we know, Coach Saban is out of the picture, and there are some new guns in town looking to make an impact, including the still recently added Texas Longhorns, a team that currently holds the #1 spot in the AP poll. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look at the Tide and Tigers, then go through the rest of the conference team by team in order of predicted finish.
First, we'll keep things right here in the Yellowhammer State. Entering year 2 under Kalen DeBoer, Alabama has been selected to finish 3rd in the SEC, a position that has them starting the year 8th in the nation. The Tide had fans crimson in the face a number of times last year, especially with massive losses to Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and of course Michigan. Bama was briefly the #1 team in the nation, earning the top spot in the AP poll after a big win over Georgia, but the team couldn't even win one game as top dog, dropping a wild one to the Commodores in Nashville their next time out. Their first stumble in a season that would end with the program falling short of 10 wins for the first time since 2007. Their 9-4 finish, called substandard by DeBoer himself, resulted in the team ending the season ranked 17th. A number of key pieces left for the NFL, including quarterback Jalen Milroe, offensive lineman Tyler Booker, and star linebacker Jahad Campbell. But the team also made a number of big additions, including Miami transfer Isaiah Horton and offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, who DeBoer initially hired last year before he left to take a position with the Seattle Seahawks. All of that meant that the team would have a bit of a different look on offense and no clear answer who the starting quarterback would be.
Yeah, Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, and Keelan Russell all vied for the starting job in the offseason, and a couple weeks ago, a winner finally emerged. Starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide is one of the most coveted spots in college football. Well, now Ty Simpson gets to assume that role, something he waited years for.
Yeah, it's a dream come true. You know, I came here out of high school wanting to be the starting quarterback, and I'm just excited, and I can't, thank my teammates enough for making me look good, and I'm ready for the opportunity.
Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb made the news official with record brevity.
Hey guys, Ty Simpson's our starter. How's that?
But it's been a long and winding road for Simpson to get to this point. He arrived at Alabama as a 5-star in 2022, only to sit behind Bryce Young, then Jalen Milroe for the next 3 years.
I think it's abnormal for sure, not transferred in today's day and age. But I don't regret it at all. I love being here. I love my teammates. I love this university. I learned a lot from the guys that played before me, like Bryce and Jalen. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and then the guys behind me, like Keelan and Austin. I think that they pushed me and elevated my game to a game that it's never seen before.
Grubb agrees Simpson's playing his best ball yet. In the past, he said the quarterback's been too careless with the football. But this fall, the pigskin has barely touched the grass.
Ty didn't throw any picks last week. He's thrown 1 all camp. We've thrown like 4 total this camp. And this spring, I think at this time, we had thrown like 15. So I think in general, the guys are understanding the concepts and control the offense a lot better as a room, and Ty was the best at that.
Grubb also appreciates Simpson's fiery leadership style. Simpson calls himself a gritty dual-threat quarterback who will do whatever it takes to win. There's no getting around this being a monumental moment for him and his family back in Martin, Tennessee.
I think my mom and dad started crying or whatever, so it was surreal. So I called my dad later that night, and then I took a nap.
But once he woke up from the dream, it was time to get back to work and do the job of being the starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide.
I feel like I worked my tail off for it, and I'm just excited for the opportunity to go out there with my guys and compete each and every day.
So it's Ty Simpson's moment here in Tuscaloosa, and we'll get to see him make his debut in Week 1 as the starter against Florida State. With coverage you can count on, I'm Trevor Denton, WAAY 31 Sports.
So it'll be Simpson on Saturday against the Seminoles, and we're all looking forward to that one. But some other key games on the schedule include the team's SEC opener against Georgia in Athens on September 27th, when running back Jam Miller is slated to return to action. A November 8th battle with the LSU Tigers in T-Town, and of course the regular season finale against Auburn this year at Jordan-Hare Stadium on November 29th.
And speaking of the Tigers, let's dive into Hugh Freeze's squad. Last season, Auburn went 5-7, finishing without a winning record for the 4th consecutive year. The Tigers offense looked potent in a 70-point season opening win over Alabama A&M, but things fell apart almost immediately. Cal stunned them at home the very next week. Things got so bad at one point that Peyton Thorne was benched in favor of Hank Brown, only to have Thorne eventually retake the job, but it didn't make much of a difference who was behind center. Auburn started conference play with 4 straight losses and only won 2 SEC games all season, highlighted by an upset of number 15 Texas A&M in a 4-overtime thriller. But after a second straight season with 7 losses, the pressure is on for Coach Freeze. Now, the Tigers lost a number of key pieces in the offseason, including wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith, running back Jarquez Hunter, and defensive stars like Jalen McLeod and Eugene Asante.
Still, you could argue that they reloaded well, adding Georgia Tech transfer Eric Singleton Jr. and Oklahoma transfer quarterback Jackson Arnold and Tulane defensive back Rayshawn Pleasant. Some experts feel that this team has all the pieces to make a run at the college football playoff should everything go according to plan. And Coach Freeze knows that the Auburn standard is something the team must strive for this year.
We're embracing the highest of expectations. It's time for us to start climbing that mountain and winning some of those games. There's no reason with the chemistry among our staff, the additions we've added to the roster, the 2 top 10 recruiting classes. Would you love to have one more year? Sure, but there is zero reason that our team, Lord willing, we stay healthy. We're expected to compete in every single football game, and we had some difficult breaks last year go against us, so it's our turn this year for them to bounce our way.
And Auburn gets things started against Baylor on Friday in Waco. Some other notable matchups this season include their SEC opener against Oklahoma in Norman on September 20th, the Deep South's oldest rivalry on the Plains on October 11th, and of course the Iron Bowl back at Jordan-Hare on November 29th. The Tigers have not beaten Alabama since 2019. So we've made it through our state's teams, but we've still got a whole lot more to get to.
Coming up after the break, we'll dive into the rest of the conference, starting with the teams predicted to finish at the top. All that and more coming up next.
Calhoun Community College. More than 200 athletes, 15 teams. Learn, compete, succeed. On the court, on the field, and in the classroom. Calhoun Community College. Transforming lives, shaping futures.
We'll SEC you
every Saturday.
The best way
to see SEC.
Only
on ABC.
Only on WAAY 31.
You, me, and the SEC.
This is football.
Way more football on your 31.
War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
Rocky Top.
What does Hottie Toddy mean?
Who said they could talk sports?
Unbelievable.
SEC Week 1 on WAAY 31.
Does this mean we can do weather?
No, Max.
This game just got bigger.
That's how we do it, fellas.
And better.
The energy is contagious.
Because we're back.
It's still a party here on HBCU Go.
And this season,
touchdown.
It's about the grit.
Unbelievable.
The glory.
This conference is anybody's to take.
And the clash of champions.
Every game is our championship game.
The 2025 HBCU Go football season is coming this fall.
We're WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather. Tracking storms better with the power of 31 Triple Doppler. From everyday weather that can change your plans.
We take a look here at 31 Triple Doppler.
To severe weather that can impact your life.
Don't take this lightly.
Still the only local weather team with 3 live Dopplers. Live Dopplers anytime on any screen.
Scattered rain in the forecast yet again today. And that's where the first alert day is going to end.
Seeing storms sooner so you can be safer.
In order to better cover high school football, we went back to high school to get the full experience. Come on.
Hey,
things are looking up. Football tryouts this week.
This is why we're here. Now what are you signing up for?
West Side Story.
Unbelievable.
Better coverage, way better. Big Game Friday night, sponsored by McCurry Van and Car Rental.
When you're a Jet, you're a Jet.
I don't know you.
Calhoun Community College. More than 200 athletes, 15 teams. Learn, compete, succeed. On the court, on the field, and in the classroom. Calhoun Community College. Transforming lives, shaping futures.
Welcome back. They say don't mess with Texas, and for decades, SEC teams didn't really have to, but when the Longhorns and Sooners joined the conference last year, everything changed.
Yeah, things had not been great in Austin until Steve Sarkisian arrived, and the former Bama assistant coach did something no other coach had been able to do, get the Longhorns to the college football playoff. Texas won the Big 12 and made the final 4-team playoff in 2023, and then finished first in the SEC and reached the semifinal in the first 12-team playoff last year. Now the Longhorns aren't just favored to win the SEC, they're the #1 team in the nation. The team's starting quarterback may only have 28 total collegiate pass attempts, but his name is Arch Manning, and nothing else seems to matter.
Arch is a great teammate, and he's humble, he's got great work ethic, he's very relatable to the guys. And I felt like coming into this year, and I think Arch would be the first one to tell you, one of the more challenging things to do is when you're a great teammate and you're working hard, but you haven't been that frontline guy yet, is how do you take on that authoritative state when you haven't yet done it, right? And what we've had to explain to him was, you've earned it. You know, he's earned it. He's earned the respect of his teammates that way.
The SEC has claimed 3 college football national championships in the 2020s, while the most recent team to hoist the trophy is Kirby Smart's Bulldogs, who went back-to-back in 2021 and 22. The Dogs have been one of the sport's most dominant teams under head coach Kirby Smart, with trips to the CFP in 3 of the last 4 seasons. Georgia won the SEC title game over Texas last season, but they lost quarterback Carson Beck in the process. The team then fell to Notre Dame in a delayed Sugar Bowl. Gunnar Stockton will now lead the team under center this year, and UGA projected to finish second in the conference as they start the season ranked 5th in the nation, but this will be a much younger team in 2025.
54% of our players are coming into their first or second year. So what do you get with that? You get youthful exuberance. We've had practices that have been spirited. We had a great spring practice that we talked about the words fire, passion, and energy. I think the biggest thing that separates college football teams today is complacency among players versus fire, passion, and energy among players.
We'll see if that fire, passion, and energy can lead the Dogs back to the SEC title game.
Alabama is projected to finish 3rd, but we've already spent enough time on Kalen DeBoer's squad, so let's move down to 4th and talk about the Tigers. LSU seemed like a CFP contender for much of last season, that is until they lost 3 straight conference games to Texas A&M, Alabama, and Florida. Brian Kelly's squad finished 9-4 and capped off the season with a bowl win over Baylor, and the Tigers will start the year ranked 9th in the nation. The team is also returning star quarterback and Heisman hopeful Garrett Nussmeier, who will have the honor of being the first LSU quarterback to wear number 18 since Matt Mock on the 2003 National Championship squad.
He represents LSU. He represents the state of Louisiana. I mean, he is our guy. I mean, he's waited for this opportunity. He loves LSU. And so you want to follow a guy like that because he's got all the things that you're looking for in a player. Committed, passionate, focused. He's got leadership ability. And he can whip the ball around the yard when you need to. Now, the thing that he brings to the table, as I've said in many of these settings, experience is the best teacher, and he's got experience, and he's got some adversity that he had to overcome along the way. I will take that kind of quarterback any time in the SEC, because when you go on the road, when you start with Death Valley, you bring a freshman into Death Valley, you better be ready for the backup to get in there too. That's my point, is that experience and a guy that has the traits that represent LSU is our starting quarterback. How cool is that?
Moving down to the 5-hole, Shane Beamer's South Carolina Gamecocks are a team on the rise. Last year, USC went 9-4, the team's best finish since 2017 under Will Muschamp. The Cox nearly beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa last year and then won 4 straight SEC games, taking down ranked Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, and Mizzou squads on consecutive Saturdays. And then they nearly knocked Clemson out of the college football playoff with a win in the Palmetto Bowl. Starting the season at number 13 in the nation and with star quarterback Lenoris Sellers returning, ready to put his name in the Heisman conversation, Coach Beamer has reason to be confident in 2025.
In this league, if you show you're one of the best teams, which we've beaten so many of the best teams in this league, there's teams that we haven't, but as you continue to recruit and continue to develop, yeah, absolutely, it's attainable. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was, Jordan. I didn't come here to go 7-5 every year. I came to South Carolina to compete for championships, and we're there, and we're continuing to develop and get better as well.
Now, Florida was a team in a similar spot to Auburn in the first 2 seasons under Billy Napier. The Gators went 6-7 and 5-7. The coach was very much on the hot seat last year, but led by quarterback DJ Lagway, the Gators turned things around and finished the season with 4 straight wins, including games against ranked opponents LSU and Ole Miss, as they finished 8-5, their best record since 2020. The Gators now enter the season 15th in the nation, and Coach Napier knows a good quarterback can only take you so far.
We want to continue to play championship caliber defense. I think that was a big piece of the puzzle relative to our success. I thought we really, from Central Florida on, I thought we played at a high level. We took the ball away. We created havoc, TFLs and sacks, and then I thought we played really good red zone defense. Special teams was an area where we were really, really good last year. We were number 2 in about 3 different composite rankings nationally. And then obviously we need to keep playing complementary football and build around a great a veteran O-line and a really good group of skill to go along with DJ in year 2. So the number one thing that we established last year is that we can go toe-to-toe with anybody. And I think that confidence, that belief, that swagger, kind of getting back to Florida football, you know, when, you know, they could beat anybody on any given day.
Lane Kiffin may have been unpredictable early in his career, but now he's built a steady winner in Oxford. Ole Miss has reached 10 wins in 3 of his 4 seasons. They're projected to finish 7th in the SEC this year, entering the year at number 21 in the AP poll. The Rebels will have to break in a new quarterback this year. Jackson Dart's now a New York Giant. Ole Miss had flashes of greatness last season, including a big win over number 3 Georgia, but the team also lost disappointing ones to Kentucky and Florida. Those kept them out of the playoff picture. Still, the coach feels like they're continuing to build a winner.
I think that we just have a really good culture. We have a really good staff that now is together for a second year in a row without losing anybody, that the expectations are set. And it's a little bit like parenting, you know, when you kind of have it nailed versus, okay, we're figuring it out, and there's, you know, different sets of rules from different assistants and stuff. Our players know that this is the way they got to do things, and then when they come in, that's the expectation. I think it helps us that we recruit and coach the same way. We don't, when you come on your recruiting visit, we don't like have all this fluff and all this stuff like around it, like, and then treat you one way, like a lot of programs, and then when you get there, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this isn't what you were like in recruiting. So kids don't come to us if that's what they're looking for. They understand, like, this is how we are.
Now, they may still be paying his buyout, a hefty one, but the Texas A&M Aggies have moved past the Jimbo Fisher era.
Mike Elko enters his 2nd year in charge, and he had the Texas A&M Aggies in the playoff picture until November last season. It was actually a quadruple overtime loss to Auburn that sent the Aggies spiraling to a 9-4 finish. Texas A&M faces 5 preseason top 15 teams this season, but the expectations remain high in College Station.
Confidence can be a really fickle thing. Every team in America, you know, puts their hand in the air at the beginning of the year and says, I want to win the championship this year, right? And some teams have done the work necessary for them to have a chance to do that, and some haven't. And I think we spent a lot of time on that last offseason, and I think our kids saw what that could do and what that could potentially lead to. And now I think they've even upped it a little bit, trying to go out and make sure we do what we got to do to finish. And so I think where the confidence comes from is something that really excites me.
After a decade in the coaching wilderness, Tennessee has finally found stability with Josh Heupel. Last season, he beat Alabama for the second time and coached the Vols to their first college football playoff appearance. It should have been a celebratory offseason in Knoxville. Instead, it all got overshadowed by a quarterback controversy. In a sign of the times, Nico Iamaleava head out of spring ball and then left for UCLA. Now the program is just trying to move forward after their loss to Ohio State in the first round of the CFP.
Ultimately, we wanted to coach and play a lot better and get a different result in that football game. And everything that you go through, you learn things from. And for us as a football team, being ready to handle that moment and prepare and play better, coach better. But some of the tools and things that we need in our tool belt as well. But ultimately, it comes down to us being better on that night and the lead up to the game.
Oklahoma also dealt with flux at the quarterback spot with Jackson Arnold now on the Plains. Enter John Mateer, an exhilarating dual threat from Washington State. He'll be tasked with getting Brent Venables off the hot seat after an underwhelming 22-17 start in Norman. Now the Sooners did manage to beat Auburn early in the season. Then they totally spoiled Alabama's playoff hopes with a huge upset win in November.
I think that game against Alabama, it showed a lot of different things to me. It showed what we're capable of when we get out of our way. It showed a team that believed in, one another and certainly themselves and their coaches. And it showed a team that showed a lot of guts and toughness to do the really hard stuff, keep dragging yourself off the mat, claw your way back, figure it out, find a way, punch first, punch back, punch last, that type of a mentality, even when a lot of things aren't going your way.
Oklahoma visits Tuscaloosa late in the season on November 15th. Well, we've made it through all of the teams with a legitimate chance to make some noise this season, but we've still got 5 more teams to get to.
Stick with us. We'll wrap up our SEC preview right after the break.
Calhoun Community College. More than 200 athletes, 15 teams. Learn, compete, succeed. On the court, on the field, and in the classroom. Calhoun Community College. Transforming lives, shaping futures.
We'll SEC you
Every Saturday.
the best way
To see SEC.
only
On ABC.
only on WAAY 31.
You, me, and the SEC.
This is football.
Way more football on your 31. War Eagle, Roll Tide.
Rocky Top.
What does Hotty Toddy mean?
Who said they could talk sports?
Unbelievable.
SEC Week 1 on WAAY 31.
Does this mean we can do weather?
No, Max.
This game just got bigger.
That's how we do it, fellas.
And better.
The energy is contagious.
Because we're back.
It's still a party here on HBCU Go.
And this season,
Touchdown.
it's about the grit,
Unbelievable.
the glory,
This conference, it's anybody's to take.
and the clash of champions.
Every game is our championship game.
The 2025 HBCU Go football season is coming this fall.
We're WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather. Tracking storms better with the power of 31 triple Doppler. From everyday weather that can change your plans,
We take a look here at 31 triple Doppler.
to severe weather that can impact your life.
Don't take this lightly.
Still the only local weather team with 3 live Dopplers. Live Dopplers anytime on any screen.
Scattered rain in the forecast yet again today. That's where the first alert day is going to end.
Seeing storms sooner so you can be safer.
In order to better cover high school football, we went back to high school to get the full experience. Come on.
Hey, things are looking up. Football tryouts this week.
This is why we're here. Now what are you signing up for?
West Side Story.
Unbelievable.
Better coverage, way better. Big game Friday night, sponsored by McCurry Van and Car Rental.
When you're a Jet, you're a Jet.
I don't know you.
Calhoun Community College. More than 200 athletes, 15 teams. Learn, compete, succeed. On the court, on the field, and in the classroom. Calhoun Community College. Transforming lives, shaping futures.
Welcome back. We have made it through the first 10 spots in the predicted order. Auburn holds the number 11 spot, but we've already talked about those Tigers. So let's keep things moving with Mizzou. Missouri plays both Alabama schools this year, and the Tigers deserve any opponent's full respect.
Yes, they do. Eli Drinkwood's squad is coming off back-to-back 10-win seasons for the first time in a decade, but they do have to replace program mainstays like Brady Cook and Luther Burden, hence their 12th place spot in the preseason poll. Now, Vanderbilt was maybe the best story in college football last year. The Commodores finally crawled out of the SEC basement and made a bowl game. More importantly, they beat Alabama for the upset of the year and perhaps the biggest win in school history. They'll have a puncher's chance to bring down some more goalposts this year. Quarterback Diego Pavia back for a 6th season of college football, and he's ready to build off what they started by taking down the Tide.
When it comes down to it, every win was important, and I think that one was because we finally got people to believe kind of in Vanderbilt football. And so from here on out, obviously we've got to win more games to get the things done that we want. So winning solves everything.
The Commodores rematch Alabama October 4th in Tuscaloosa. They host Auburn on November 8th.
The vibes aren't awesome in Fayetteville. Hog fans want more out of head coach Sam Pittman, but is the program capable more of the 30-31 record he's given them? That's the question the school will have to tackle in the near future. For now, sit back and enjoy Talon Green, one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the country. For a while, Mark Stoops seemed bulletproof in Lexington, but he brought competent football back to a basketball town. He even fielded a couple good teams too, but Stoops may have raised expectations too high for his own good with 10-win campaigns in 2018 and 2021, and a 4-8 season last year created a mess on aisle 3 of Kroger Field. Will Big Blue Nation tolerate another year like that?
And speaking of messes, Mississippi State went 2-10 last year and suffered an embarrassing loss to Toledo. Getting to a bowl game should be considered a big win for Jeff Lebby if he can do that in his 2nd season in Starkville. The Bulldogs projected to be dead last in the SEC this year.
So we've made it through all 16 teams in the conference. I got to ask you, is there anybody in the order that you think was either too high or too low?
You know, I'm very high on Vanderbilt. Most experienced team in the SEC. Diego Pavia is so hard to bring down. 13th feels disrespectful after what they were able to do last year. I like them a lot.
You know, we saw a lot of SEC teams in basketball make it into the NCAA tournament. Do you think we're going to see a lot of SEC teams make the college football playoff this year?
Only 3 last year, which was kind of shocking to a lot of people. I think we topped that this year. Get 4, I think 5 maybe could be in that range.
Huge week of games coming up. What game's most exciting to you?
You got Ohio State, Texas. Baylor, Auburn's a sneaky one, but I'm most looking forward to that game in Tallahassee. Ty Simpson first start against the Noles.
All right, stick with us all season for the SEC right here on WAAY 31.